Hello everyone! So ito yung coverage ng aming ire-report. Topic 1, main type of methodologies in the assessment of desirability in economic and environmental or social aspects of constructing a highway proposal. Topic 2, the basic elements of highway traffic analysis. So let's do this.
Today, I will discuss the economic appraisal of highway scheme. It involves comparing their performance against the current situation termed the do-nothing alternative and/or against the do-minimum alternative involving a low-cost upgrading of the existing facility. So, ano nga ba yung engineering economics? It provides a number of techniques that results in numerical values termed measures of economic worth. So, sa madaling salita, ito ay usapang pera. Sa hinaharap, pag naging engineer na tayo, darating tayo sa punto na mamimili tayo ng projects or anong dapat gawin sa projects upang ito ay kumita. May mga katanungang dapat sagutin or dapat itanong. Ito ay kung kakayanin bang suportahan financially o kaya ang project na yun ba ay kikita or magkakaroon ng tubo in the near future. So dito pag-aaralan lahat ng pwedeng mangyari financially. There are some measures of worth. Una ay ang net present value or ang NPV. Second one is the benefit cost ratio or the BC. Pangatlo is the internal rate of return. So some of the tangible bases of evaluation are the financial unit. Example nito ay yung pound, euros, o kaya naman dollars. Second topic is the identifying the main project option. This is the fundamental steps in the cost-benefit analysis process where the decision makers compile a list of all relevant feasible options that they wish to be assessed. So, pag sinabing feasible, it refers to the option that a preliminary evaluation present themselves as valuable courses of action that can be brought to completion given the constraints imposed on the decisions makers such as lack of time, information, and resources. Maraming procedures para parehas na ma-identify ang mga project options. Una, drawing on the personal experience of the decision maker himself as well as the other experts in highway. So, sinasabi dito na kailangan mong i-relate yung mga personal mong, yung mga pangyayari sa buhay mo, humingi ka ng mga advice sa mga professionals or sa mga eksperto na mas maraming mga experience compare sa'yo. Sila yung makapagsasabi sa'yo kung tama or mali po yung ginagawa mo. Pangalawa is the making comparison between the current decision problem and one's previously solved in a successful manner. Ikatlo ay examining all relevant literatures. So the third topic is the identification of all relevant costs and benefits. The application of cost benefits for project assessment in the highway area is made more complicated by the wide array of benefits associated with a given road initiative, some easier to translate into monetary values than others. Many of the benefits of improvements to transport project to decrease in cost. The primary groupings that contains this type of economic gain is termed user benefit. Mayroong tatlong main groups. Ito ay ang una, reduction of vehicle in operating cost. Pangalawa, saving in time. Pangatlo, reduction in the frequency of accidents. So, ano nga ba yung reduction in vehicle operation cost? So, one of the most important and one of the easiest measure in money terms within a highway cost-benefit analysis, a formula is used which directly relates vehicle operating cost to speed costs included both fuel and non-fuel. Pangalawa is saving in time. Upgrading of highway installation will invariably reduce travel time as well as improving the reliability of transport service. Analysis of the value of time saving within the cost-benefit framework focus. So, dito sa time saving, parang dito inaano yung mga daan kung saan mas mapapalapit or makakapag-save ka ng time. So, ikatlo is the reduction in the frequency of accidents. In the case of highway, this required comparison of the accidents. So, syempre, sa panahon ngayon, napakarami ng mga accidents na nangyayari. So the government, yung inaano din nila parang nire-relate nila sa mga nangyayaring accidents. All method depends on discounting to arrive by final answer. So, pang-apat is the advantage and disadvantage. Pang-apat is the economic life residual value and the discount. A highway project is often complex and long-term, with the cost and benefit associated with it occurring over a long time frame, which we term the life of the project. Dealt with in earlier chapters. Given that transport development projects have the potential to be in service for a very long time, it may seem impossible to set a limit on the life of a project. Degree. Costs and benefits occur at different time over this time horizontal. Because of this they cannot directly combine until they reduce in a common time frame. So, ikalima is the use of economic indicators to assess basic economic variability. Once or two parameters of project life and discount rate are set in a place. These allow all costs and benefit to be directly compared at the same point in time. Mayroong tatlong techniques na magagamit para ma-analyze ang cost and benefits. Una, ang net present value or ang NPV. This will estimate the economic worth of projects in terms of the present worth of the total benefits. Ikalawa, ang internal rate of return or ang IRR. This will give for each option under consideration the rate at which the net present value for it equals 0, with the benefit cost ratio based on the ratio present value benefits to the present of the cost. So, all methods depends on the discounting to arrive at the final answer. So, ano ba yung mga advantage at disadvantage of cost-benefit analysis? So, isa sa mga advantage niya is the use of the common unit of measurement, money, and facilities, comparisons between alternative highway proposal, and hence aids the decision-making process. Given that the focus of the method is on benefit and cost of the highway, in question to the community as a whole, it offers a broader perspective than a narrow financial investment appraisal concentrating only on the effects of the project developers, be that the government group of investors funding a toll scheme. So, kung merong advantage, meron din syempre mga disadvantage. So, dito, meron akong nakasulat na tatlong disadvantage. Una, the primary basis of constructing a highway project may be societal or environmental rather than economic one. The method is more suitable for comparing highway proposal design to meet a given transport objective rather than evaluating the absolute desirability of one of the project in isolation. A decision maker will thus feel more comfortable using it to rank a number of alternative highway design options rather than to access a absolute desirability of only one option relative to existing do nothing. So, yung ikatlo is the although some limited recognition may be given to the importance of the cost and benefit that cannot be measured in momentary terms. Say for example is the environmental consequences. So sa report namin na ito lang yung first 6 topics na i-discuss. Yung sunod na mga topics i-discuss ng aking groupmates na si Jenny Carmagbo at ni Maricosa.
Good day everyone! I am discussing my part, which is the last subtopics of cost-benefit analysis, include the payback analysis. I will discuss also the environmental appraisal of highway schemes, the new approach to appraisal or NETA, and lastly, the subtopics of basic elements of highway traffic analysis includes the speed, flow, and density of a stream of traffic. First, I will discuss the payback analysis. So, what do you mean the payback analysis? Payback analysis refers to an extremely simple procedure that is particularly useful in evaluating proposals such as privately funded highway projects where tolls will be imposed on users of the facility in order to recover construction costs. The method delivers an estimate of the length of time taken for the project to recoup its construction costs. Sabi dito, ito ay isang paraan upang makabawi ang government or private sector sa ginastos sa pagpapagawa ng mga road and highway projects. Dito papasok yung payback period, which refers to the time or number of years it takes for the cash flows of incomes from a particular projects to equal the initial investment. May formula tayo dito ang gagamitin to determine the payback period of a particular project. So, the formula is payback period is equal to C sub O divided by NAS, where C sub O is the initial construction cost of the highway project and the NAS is a net annual savings. And now, let's moving on to the environmental appraisal of highway schemes address the two objectives of transport efficiency and safety. Meaning, dito papasok yung possible impact kapag nag-undergo na ng construction ang roadway and highway projects. Andito ang table listing of impacts relevant to each of these appraisal group. So, in local communities, maaaring ma-demolition ng properties tulad na lamang dito sa Marinduque. Yung mga bahay na malapit sa tabing kalsada ay naapektuhan dahil nakasama ito sa widening. So, kasama din na maapektuhan ay ang visual impact, severance, and construction disruption. Sa construction disruption naman ay temporary lamang ito kasi magiging epekto lang ito kapag nagsimula na ang construction ng isang project. So, apektado din ang mga travelers tulad ng mga tao na dumadaan dito, halimbawa under construction na yung location. So, ito ay nagiging sanhi ng trapiko na magiging dahilan ng pagkainis ng mga drivers at commuters. Apektado din ang cultural or national environment tulad ng ingay na dala nito, severance, visual impact, and landscape impacts na maaaring mabago ang isang location kapag tatayuan na ito ng daan. Let's proceed to the new approach to appraisal or NETA. Refers to the mechanism by which of all new transport projects are assessed and embodies the issues of sustainability. A new road built today will not just have to ease congestion but also have a positive effect on the environment. The government introduced NETA in 1977 in order to look at road schemes under various criteria and to develop suitable solutions to particular capacity problems but also to prioritize schemes. So, the following table shows the 30 NETA sub-criteria used for evaluation of road schemes. First, the environmental impact with the sub-criteria of noise, local air quality, landscape, biodiversity, heritage, and water. Second, the safety. Third, the economy with the sub-criteria of journey times and vehicle operating costs, journey time reliability, scheme cost, regeneration. And the fourth is accessibility with sub-criteria of access to public transport, community severance, pedestrian, and others. And the fifth is the integration. So let's moving on to the topic number 2, which is basic elements of highway traffic analysis. In order to measure its level of effectiveness, certain parameters associated with the highway must be measured and analyzed. With these properties include the quantity of traffic, the type of vehicles within the traffic stream, the distribution of flow over a period of time, the average speed of the traffic stream, and the density of the traffic flow. So the analysis of this parameter will directly influence the scale and layout of the proposed highway together with the type and quantity of materials used in its constructions. So in speed, flow, and density of a stream of traffic, may formula dito na Q is equal to N over T and K is equal to N over L, where Q is the traffic flow, N number of vehicle, L a given length of roadway, and K is the density or concentration of traffic. In general terms, Q is expressed in vehicles per unit of time, and where the traffic density is a measure of the number of vehicles occupying a length of roadway. So, pinapakita lang dito na yung three parameters U, K, and Q are directly related under this stable traffic condition. At this is represent the basic relationship between the traffic flow, space, mean speed, and the density. So, a speed density relationship, sabi dito, as more vehicles use the section of highway, the density of the flow will increase and their speed will decrease from their maximum free flow value as they are increasingly more inhibited by the driving maneuvers of others. At ito yung graph ng speed density relationship, which is inversely proportional. Next, the flow density relationship na may equation and illustration of flow density relationship na ang graph naman ay parabolic. At ito naman yung speed flow relationship na may equation and illustration na ang graph ay parabolic. Punta na tayo sa determining the capacity of a highway. May two differing approaches to determine the capacity of highway. First, a level of service approach involved establishing from the perspective of the road user the quality of service delivered by a highway at a given rate of vehicular flow per lane of traffic. Second, it is used in Britain, puts forward practical capacities for roads of various size and width carrying different type of traffic.
Ayan, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Pagpasensyahan nyo na at umuulan at saka medyo madilim. Nakaugnay ng aming subject na Highway and Railroad Engineering. I-discuss na ngayon ang level of service approach. Siyempre, magsisimula tayo sa introduction. Ayan, i-discuss din natin ibang topic katulad ng maximum service flow rates for multi-lane highways, maximum service flow rates for two-lane highways, and sizing a road using the highway capacity manual approach, and lastly is estimation of AATP. So, let's discuss first the level of service approach. Ang sabi, it is the quality measure describing operational conditions within a traffic stream. Generally, in terms of such service measure as speed and travel time, freedom from maneuver, traffic interruptions, and comfort and convenience. So, ibig sabihin lang pala, ito isang qualitative way para malaman natin yung condition ng traffic in the viewpoint of our road users. So, punta naman tayo sa 6 levels of service. Ano ba yung mga yun? Service A,
This represents the free flow conditions where traffic flow is virtually zero. So kaya sinabi free flow condition kasi usually wala talagang traffic or zero traffic. Ito yung time na magandang mag-travel or maglibot-libot kasi hindi hassle. So sa service fee naman, it represents the reasonable free flow conditions. Dito sa level na ito, maluwag yung daloy ng traffic ko pero syempre limitado na yung galaw, hindi katulad sa service A. Service C, deliver stable flow condition. At this level, merong mga minor accidents. So, sa mga road users natin, care is required when changing lane, ika nga. And sa service B, at this level, there are severe restrictions in which medyo hassle, lalo na kung nagmamadali ka. Service E, the traffic flow conditions are best described as unstable with any traffic incident causing extensive queuing and even breakdown. So, doon sa definition, sinabing unstable, dahil yung level ito mas hassle and the levels of comfort are very poor. So, the service F describes a state of breakdown or forced flow with flow exceeding capacity. So, sinabing unstable yung service E, ito naman yung highly unstable. Bakit? Kasi sa level nito, ito yung sinasabing pinaka-worst pagdating sa traffic.
Meron tayong graph dito. It presents the linkage between the level of service speed and capacity.
So in order to determine a road's level of service, a comprehension of the relationship between hourly volume, peak hour factor, and service flow is vital.
Meron tayong formula which is PHF is equal to V divided by V sub 15 times 4, wherein ang V represents the hourly volume. Take note that it's the highest hourly volume within a 24 period, and then the PHF, which is the peak hour factor. This is the ratio of the hourly volume to the peak 15 minutes flow enlarged to an hourly value. Sa service flow naman, meron tayong formula na SF is equal to V sub 15 times 4. Take note that the SF is the service flow and the peak 15 minute flow, which is the V sub 15, enlarged to an hourly value.
Let's proceed to the maximum service flow rates for multi-lane highways. So the highway capacity manual generates maximum flow values obtainable on a multi-lane highway given a certain speed limit and prevailing level of service.
Given the formula, the maximum service flow is equal to C sub j times V over C times M, wherein N is the number of lanes in each direction and C sub j is the capacity of standard highway lane for a given design speed. The table presents the values of the capacity of standard highway lane for a given design speed, and another table presents the maximum ratios of flow to the capacity for each level of service and design speed limit. Ayan, take note that in the non-ideal condition, yung equation natin is makikita dyan sa picture.
Maximum service flow rates for two-lane highways. Where one lane is available for traffic in each direction, a classification of two-lane highway applies. In such a situation, if a driver wishes to overtake a slower-moving vehicles, the opposing lane must be utilized. Sizing a road using the highway capacity manual approach. When sizing a new roadway, a desired level of service is chosen by the designer. This value is then used in conjunction with a design traffic volume in order to select an appropriate cross-section for the highway.
Annual Average Daily Traffic or AADT. It is defined as the volume of traffic moving in both directions in a 24-hour period for the most average traffic day of the year. Para masolve natin itong AADT, kailangan natin i-add yung permanent counter data gathered in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in both directions for 1 year, then dividing the sum by 365 days.
Ayun, thank you so much po sa panonood. Sana po nakatulong itong discussion tungkol sa level service approach.